Hello, and welcome to Visa News Daily, your essential daily briefing on the ever-evolving landscape of UK immigration. I'm Andrew, and over the next few minutes, we'll be breaking down the most significant news and updates from yesterday through to today, August the 28th, 2025. We have a packed agenda covering bombshell proposals on deportation from the Reform UK Party, new data on student visas, and a look ahead at major changes to long-term settlement and citizenship rules. Before we get to this, please be reminded that we will be bringing you the latest immigration news here on a daily basis at exactly 8 a.m. UK time before other news follows later. So if you've not already, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to keep yourself updated on the latest UK immigration news daily. So now, let's get straight into it. The dominant headline this week comes from Nigel Farage, leader of the Reform UK Party, who yesterday unveiled a highly controversial and sweeping new immigration plan. Dubbed Operation Restoring Justice, the proposal aims to detain and deport anyone who arrives in the UK illegally, including, initially, women and children. At a press conference on Tuesday, Mr. Farage stated, "If you come to the UK illegally, you will be detained and deported and never ever allowed to stay, period."
Anyway, we will stop the boats is by detaining and deporting absolutely anyone that comes via that route. Yes, women and children, everybody on arrival will be detained. And I've accepted already that how we deal with children is a much more complicated and difficult issue. But you know what? They were doing it because over 3/4 of those that come are young, undocumented males who come from cultures that are entirely different from ours, who are very unlikely to assimilate into our community, who pose a risk to women and girls, and some of them, I'm afraid, pose a risk to national security.
He argued that the current situation constitutes a genuine threat to public order, and that his plan is the only way to stop small boat crossings. The 5-year emergency programme proposes to deport up to 600,000 asylum seekers within the first parliament of a reform government. To achieve this, the party plans to withdraw the UK from the European Convention on Human Rights (ECHR), repeal the Human Rights Act, and establish a new UK deportation command. The plan also suggests using aid as leverage and potential sanctions to secure deals with countries, including Afghanistan and Eritrea, to take back their nationals. The announcement has, predictably, drawn sharp reactions. Critics have labelled the rhetoric as ugly and inflammatory and questioned the plan's workability and moral implications. Legal experts and political opponents have highlighted the immense practical and diplomatic challenges of striking such return agreements, pointing to the difficulties faced by the previous Conservative government's Rwanda scheme. Interestingly, just today, on August the 27th, Mr. Farage appeared to roll back slightly on his initial statements. During an event in Scotland, he clarified that deporting women and children is not part of his party's plan for the next 5 years, stating they would be detained, but the priority for deportation would be adult males. This quick clarification follows a day of intense scrutiny and highlights the deep divisions these proposals have exposed. A recent YouGov poll for Sky News and The Times found that 54% of British adults believe protests outside asylum hotels are justified, suggesting a significant public frustration that Reform UK is tapping into. This comes as the UK government confirmed on Tuesday that more than 100 people who recently arrived in small boats have been detained for removal. The Labour government, meanwhile, is proceeding with its one-in, one-out pilot scheme with France, which came into force this month, allowing the return of some asylum seekers in exchange for the UK accepting others with ties to Britain. Moving on to the more administrative but no less impactful side of immigration news. The ground is continually shifting for those looking to work, study, and settle in the UK, largely due to a government white paper published in May 2025 aimed at reducing net migration. One of the most significant changes which took effect on July 22nd, 2025 was the raising of the skills threshold for the skilled worker visa. A job must now typically be graded at a graduate level or RQF level 6 to be eligible for sponsorship. This has removed over 100 occupations from the list that were previously eligible. For those who secured their skilled worker visa before this date, transitional arrangements are in place, allowing them to extend their visas in roles now deemed below the new skill level, subject to review. Salary thresholds have also seen another hike. The general minimum salary for new skilled worker visa applicants rose to £41,700 from £38,700. Other routes like the Global Business Mobility Visa also saw increases, with the senior or specialist worker threshold now at £52,500. It's not just work visa. International students are also facing a stricter environment. Following a policy change on January 1st, 2024, that restricted most postgraduate students from bringing dependents, the number of dependent visas granted has plummeted by 81% year over year. However, new Home Office data released on August the 21st shows a potential recovery, with student visa grants to main applicants up by 18% in the first half of 2025, compared to the same period in 2024. Despite this, universities are now under increased pressure. Proposed new rules will require them to maintain a visa refusal rate below 5%, down from the current 10% threshold. This has led some universities to consider withdrawing from recruitment in countries perceived as high risk for visa refusals, such as Nigeria and Pakistan, which could impact their international student numbers. For many, the ultimate goal of navigating the UK's immigration system is achieving permanent settlement, known as indefinite leave to remain, or ILR, and eventually British citizenship. Here too, major changes are on the horizon. The May 2025 White Paper proposed a landmark shift, increasing the standard qualifying period for ILR from 5 years to 10 years for most visa routes, including the skilled worker visa. While this is not yet law, it has caused considerable concern. 2 e-petitions arguing against this extension, one for existing skilled worker visa holders and another for BNOAT. Visa holders from Hong Kong have gathered over 157,000 and 108,000 signatures respectively, and are scheduled for a debate in Westminster Hall on September the 8th, 2025. The government has stated there may be exceptions for an earned settlement pathway for those who make significant contributions, but the details remain undefined. Citizens Advice has noted that this change will consequently lengthen the time it takes to become eligible for British citizenship, as holding ILR is a prerequisite. Speaking of citizenship, the costs continue to climb. Fee increases that took effect in April 2025 saw the application fee for naturalisation as a British citizen rise to £1,605, not including the mandatory £130 ceremony fee or other costs, like the Life in the UK test. In total, the cost can be around £1,735. Furthermore, a significant policy change came into effect on February 10, 2025, impacting the good character requirement for citizenship. Under the new guidance, anyone who has ever entered the UK illegally, including via dangerous journeys like small boats, will now normally be refused British citizenship, regardless of how long ago it happened or if they now hold refugee status. This marks a much stricter interpretation than the previous rules. Finally, a quick update from the Home Office itself. Yesterday and today, August 26th and 27th, saw the release of updated guidance for caseworkers on offender management and court evidence, as well as the latest migration transparency data. So, to recap this packed 48 hours. First, Reform UK has announced a hardline mass deportation plan, sparking intense debate and a subsequent clarification on the detention of women and children. Second, the impact of new, higher skill and salary thresholds for work visas continues to be felt, while new data shows a mixed picture for international student numbers amid tightening compliance rules for universities. And third, the path to permanent settlement and citizenship is set to become longer and more expensive, with a proposed doubling of the ILR wait time to 10 years and stricter good character rules already in place. The pace of change in UK immigration law and policy shows no sign of slowing down. These developments will have profound effects on individuals, families, businesses, and the very fabric of UK society. That's all we have time for on Visa News Daily. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to subscribe for our weekly updates as we continue to track these critical stories. Goodbye for now.